The grand arena on the planet Zilyrus was packed. Thousands of aliens gathered to watch. Bright lights flashed. Giant screens showed the queen sitting on her golden throne. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes sharp like ice. Her name was Queen Valara. She ruled this world with pride and power. But today, something strange was happening. A human stood alone in the middle of the arena. He wore simple black clothes. His arms were crossed. His face was calm, but his eyes were serious. His name was Captain Ray. No human had ever entered the arena before. No human had ever dared challenge Queen Valara's warriors. Yet here he stood, alone, silent. The crowd whispered, "Who is he? Why is a human here? He will not last even 1 minute." Queen Valara raised her hand, and the crowd became quiet. Her voice echoed across the arena. "This human ... she said, her tone cold and royal, "has challenged my strongest warrior. He will now face his punishment." Her tall warrior stepped forward from the royal gate. His name was Kazara, massive alien, almost 9 feet tall, with green skin and heavy metal armor. He held a large energy axe in one hand. The ground shook as he walked. The queen smirked slightly. She thought it would be an easy show. The human would be crushed. But deep inside her, there was a small, strange feeling. Curiosity. Ray did not move. He simply watched Kazar approach. His hand stayed empty, no weapon. Kazar roared, his voice like thunder. The arena floor trembled. He swung his axe down toward Ray. The crowd gasped. But Ray wasn't there. In less than a second, Ray had stepped to the side, quiet, fast. Kazar's axe hit the floor, cracking it. Dust rose into the air. The queen's eyes narrowed. Her advisors whispered nervously beside her. Ray finally spoke. His voice was calm, without fear. "I didn't come here to die." Kazar growled and attacked again, this time faster, swing after swing. But each time, Ray dodged. His movements were not normal. They were too smooth, like he had practiced this all his life. The crowd began to fall silent. One by one, aliens leaned forward, watching carefully now. Queen Valara rested her chin on her hand, watching too. For the first time, her interest was real. "This human is different ... she thought. Ray's eyes stayed sharp. His breath steady. He waited. He wasn't attacking, only defending. But why? The queen asked her advisor quietly, "Where did this human come from?" The advisor replied, shaking slightly, "No record, my queen. He appeared in the city 3 days ago." "Interesting ... she said, her voice cold, but her mind warming with curiosity. Kazar stepped back for a moment, breathing hard now. Sweat dripped from his green skin. Even for him, this was getting serious. Ray tilted his head slightly, as if studying Kazar's next move. The queen raised her hand again, giving a small signal. This meant no more playing around. Kazar understood. He roared louder than before and charged forward with full power. The arena shook again. Ray didn't move this time. He stood completely still. The crowd held its breath. At the last second, Ray stepped forward, not back. His hand touched Kazar's axe mid-swing, redirecting it just slightly. The giant warrior stumbled forward, losing balance. That was the moment everyone realized this wasn't luck. This wasn't chance. Ray knew exactly what he was doing. He had control. The queen leaned forward in her seat, her fingers gripping the golden armrest. Who was this human really? Ray looked up, his eyes meeting the queen's from far across the arena. Their gazes locked. For a long second, it was as if everything stopped. The crowd, the noise, even Kazar. A silent message passed between the queen and Ray. And in that moment, Queen Valara felt something she had not felt in years. Curiosity. And something else. Danger. Because the human was not just fighting for sport. He was here for a reason. A reason that could shake her entire empire. Asterisk. The dust was still floating. in the air when Kaiser stepped back. His giant feet pressed deep into the cracked arena floor. The audience was completely silent. Even children sitting on their parents' shoulders were too scared to speak. And in the middle of it all, the human still stood calm, almost peaceful. Captain Ray. Queen Valara's golden eyes did not blink. Her heart beat a little faster than she liked. Her strongest warrior was breathing heavy. The human had not even raised a weapon yet. Her advisor leaned closer. My queen. Shall I order Kaiser to use lethal force? Valara did not answer immediately. Her mind, sharp and cold as usual, felt slightly warm, a strange feeling. For her, let the fight continue, she said softly. No holding back. Kasur roared again, but this time it wasn't anger. It was frustration. His pride as a warrior was burning now. How could a small human make him look foolish in front of everyone? Kaiser raised both arms, slamming his axe handle into the ground. Energy sparks flew, blue lightning flashing across the arena floor. Ray's boots shifted, but he did not panic. Instead of dodging, he walked forward. One step, then another. Kaiser's eyes widened slightly. This human wasn't running anymore. The queen leaned forward. What is he planning? She whispered to herself. Suddenly, Kazurj charged. His axe swung in a wide arc, glowing with alien energy. The audience stood on their feet, shouting now. Some were cheering for Kaiser. Others strangely were cheering for the human. Ray moved not with panic, not like a man afraid to die, but like a man counting every step, measuring distance, timing, weight. Kazur's axe passed close enough to cut air, yet missed by inches. Ray ducked low, sliding under the warrior's massive arm. As Kazar turned, Ray's hand reached out, and this time he touched Kaiser's elbow. Only a touch, but Kaiser stumbled again. His balance lost. His grip almost loosened. Queen Valara's breath caught. What kind of technique is this? Her advisor asked, his voice shaky. Valara narrowed her eyes. Human martial arts, she said slowly. Something I've only read about in old reports. Fluid motion. Using the enemy's strength against them. Kaiser didn't care about old reports. He was now truly angry. His green skin glowed with heat. His armor plates steamed. Fight back, human. Kaiser shouted, voice deep like stone, but Ray didn't answer. His silence made the warrior angrier. Ray wasn't there to show off. He wasn't there to kill. He had a bigger reason. His real mission. Far above the arena, hidden behind the royal balcony, small shadows watched. Two figures in black armor. Spies, unseen by most. Watching the queen closely. Whispering into small alien communication devices. Ray knew they were there. That's why he wasn't wasting energy fighting Kaiser. His real fight was coming later. But for now, he had to survive. Kaiser attacked again. This time, he grabbed a secondary weapon, a plasma chain. He swung it in a wide circle, fire and sparks flying. Ray's eyes narrowed, body lowering into a fighting stance. The first strike came. The plasma chain lashed toward him. He dodged. The second strike came faster. Ray ducked, sliding on the ground. The third strike he caught it. With his bare hands, the crowd gasped. Queen Valara rose to her feet. Her golden robe shimmered under the arena lights. Her face, usually calm as ice, now showed true interest. The chain burned in Ray's hand, but he didn't let go. He pulled hard. Kaiser stumbled forward again, almost falling on one knee. His pride cracked like stone under pressure. Ray let the chain drop. Kaiser fell back, breathing heavily now. One knee touching the arena floor. Silence again. Captain Ray stood tall, both hands now visible to all. They were empty. No weapons. Only skill and courage. Queen Valara's voice echoed again. Zor. Is this your limit? Kazur growled but didn't answer. His pride had taken a heavy hit. Valara's eyes turned toward Ray. Her voice dropped lower, softer but dangerous. "And you, human... what is your purpose here?" Ray's eyes locked on hers again. "For now," he said, voice calm and cold, "I'm just warming up." The crowd exploded in noise, half cheering, half shouting in confusion. Queen Valara did something she had not done in years. She smiled. But behind that small smile, a storm of thoughts filled her mind. Who was this man really, and why did she feel that her carefully controlled world was about to change forever? The sun of Xylaris glowed orange over the arena. But inside, all eyes stayed on Captain Ray, the human who had made even the Queen's strongest warrior fall to one knee. Kaiser sat on the ground now, chest rising and falling like a tired machine. His green skin was marked with sweat and dust. His axe lay forgotten beside him, and Ray? Ray hadn't even touched a weapon. The Queen rose from her golden throne once again. Her tall, proud figure cast a long shadow over the royal balcony. For a long moment, she said nothing. Her golden eyes studied Ray carefully, like a scientist observing something never seen before. Her advisors kept whispering behind her, "My Queen... should we stop this? This is becoming dangerous." But Queen Valara only raised one hand. Silence again. "Human." Her voice echoed, calm yet heavy like cold rain. "You surprised me, but surprise is here. Come with a price. Tell me your real reason for coming to my arena. You are not here just to win." Ray didn't answer right away. His chest rose and fell slowly. His eyes didn't show anger or pride, only quiet focus. Then he finally spoke, his voice steady, simple. "I came for something the Queen has forgotten." The words confused everyone, even Kaiser, even Valara herself. Before anyone could ask what he meant, a loud beep sound echoed through the arena's speaker systems. All heads turned. On the giant arena screen, static flickered, then suddenly, clear. An image appeared. It wasn't part of the show. It showed two black-armored alien soldiers standing on top of the palace tower holding strange weapons. One of them aimed a sniper cannon directly toward the Queen's balcony. The audience gasped. Guards shouted, running in all directions. Assassins, right inside the Queen's own palace. Valara's body tensed. Her personal guards raised shields around her, forming a wall. Her heart beat faster, but before her soldiers could act, Ray moved. Without hesitation, Ray sprinted across the arena floor. His feet pushed off the cracked ground like a trained soldier. In seconds, he reached the royal balcony wall. Everyone watched, shocked, as he jumped onto it and climbed. Like it was nothing. No armor, no flight gear, only human muscle and training. Who is this man? One alien whispered in the crowd. Within seconds, Ray reached the Queen's level. His body rolled smoothly over the balcony edge, landing right beside the Queen's personal guard. Weapons pointed at him, but Valara raised her hand again. Her voice was sharp. "Let him pass." For some reason, even she didn't fully understand, she trusted him. Ray didn't waste time. He scanned the palace tower, eyes locked onto the screen showing the assassins. "My Queen," he said calmly, "you're under attack, and your people didn't even notice." Valara clenched her jaw. Her empire's perfect control shattered in seconds. "Who sent them?" she asked. Ray only said two words. "Your council." Her eyes widened. A cold wind seemed to blow across the balcony. She understood now. This wasn't about the arena. This wasn't about strength. This was a test. And she had just failed it. Ray wasn't here to show off. He was here to save her. Suddenly, one of the assassins fired. A bright red laser bolt shot toward the Queen's balcony. Ray stepped forward, not back. He grabbed one of the fallen shields and raised it just in time. The energy blast slammed into the shield, shaking the balcony. Alien guards scrambled. But Ray had already dropped the shield and pulled a small device from his pocket, a simple Earth-made energy pistol. hidden under his arena clothes. No one had seen it until now. His real weapon, while everyone thought he was fighting empty-handed. Ray had kept his real tool hidden. He aimed carefully, his hand steady. One shot fired. The sniper's weapon exploded in the assassin's hands. One clean shot. The crowd below roared, this time not in confusion, but in true wild cheer. Ray lowered the pistol slowly. His eyes met Velara's again. Her heart raced. But now, it wasn't just fear or shock. It was something deeper. "Why?" she whispered. "Why risk your life for me?" Ray's face softened slightly. "Because," he said simply, "sometimes humans do things not for power, not for glory, but because it's the right thing to do." Velara stared at him. Her empire, her laws, her pride all felt like distant things now. For the first time in her cold, royal life, she wondered if there was more to leadership than strength. As the sun set over Zelilaris, casting golden light on the broken arena floor and the royal balcony above, one thing became clear. The human had brought more than skill. He had brought change. The sun had set now. The arena lights glowed like white moons floating above the crowd. But no one looked away. Every eye, alien and human, was locked on the scene above. Captain Ray stood on the royal balcony beside Queen Velara. His pistol hung quietly at his side now, no longer hidden. The queen's golden robe shimmered under the lights, but her face was still and thoughtful. Down in the arena, Kaiser, the queen's strongest warrior, knelt in silence. His axe lay on the cracked ground. His armor was dented, his pride broken. But Kaiser did not leave. He was waiting for the queen's command. Queen Velara stepped forward, standing at the edge of her balcony. Her voice echoed across the arena, sharp and final. "Kaiser, you have lost." The crowd whispered. Some aliens lowered their heads in shock. For the warrior of Xylaris, defeat in public was the greatest shame. According to ancient law, the loser must pay a price. Kaiser raised his head slowly. His voice was low but strong. "What is my punishment, my queen?" Velara looked down at him, her face serious. But before she could speak, she glanced at Ray standing beside her. His calm presence made her pause. And in that pause, her decision changed. "Kazar," she said, voice colder now, "you are not the only one who lost today. I too was blind." The crowd went silent again. Ray stayed quiet, watching her closely. Velara raised her hand and spoke louder. "According to ancient law, when a challenger defeats the queen's champion, there is a second rule, one older than all others." Now even her advisors looked confused. Ray finally asked quietly, "What rule?" Velara's golden eyes locked on him. Her lips curved into a small, dangerous smile. "If the queen's warrior falls, the queen must marry the victor." The entire arena gasped at once. The sound was like a wave crashing. Ray's eyes narrowed slightly. That wasn't mentioned before. Velara tilted her head, voice calm and sharp like a blade. "You never asked." Kaiser lowered his head fully now, as if accepting fate. Ray, however, didn't move. His heart beat calmly. "You would marry a human." "Just like that?" Velara stepped closer, so only he could hear her next words. "I follow the law, human, but do not think this is a kindness. You have forced my hand." Ray studied her face. For the first time, he saw something behind the cold queen's mask. Not just pride. Not just power. Loneliness. And maybe fear. Fear that her empire wasn't as strong as it looked. Before either of them could say more, Kaiser spoke again from below, his voice full of pain. "I accept my defeat, my queen. I accept my fall." He placed both his hands on the arena floor, bowing fully in front of Ray now. This gesture wasn't just about loss. It was a sign. Kaiser, the unbeatable warrior, now showed respect to the human. The crowd began to chant softly. Human. 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 It grew louder, filling the arena like thunder. Queen Valara stepped back, her face unreadable. Inside her mind, thoughts spun like a storm. Was this really happening? Had her strongest laws just turned against her? She looked at Ray again, and quietly, under her breath, she admitted it. This human is not just a stranger. He is my future now. At that moment, giant fireworks exploded over the arena, signaling the end of the match. Red, blue, and silver. Lights filled the sky, but Ray did not smile. His mission wasn't finished. He leaned toward Valara and whispered, "Now that I'm your husband, there's something we must discuss." Valara raised one eyebrow. "What?" Ray's eyes darkened slightly. His voice dropped. "There are traitors in your council, and I'm not leaving this palace until they're gone." The queen felt her heart freeze again. What had started as a simple fight had now become a war inside her own walls. And as the crowd cheered below, unaware of the storm coming, Valara realized something else. Perhaps marriage to this human wasn't punishment at all. Perhaps it was the only thing that could save her kingdom. The grand arena lights had dimmed, the crowd had left. But inside the royal palace, things were just beginning. Queen Valara sat alone in her private chambers now. Her tall golden mirror reflected her face, but she wasn't looking at it. Her mind was far away. A human as her husband? That was not how she planned her day. She was a ruler, not someone meant for feelings. And yet, the law of Xylaris was clear. When a challenger won, the queen must marry him. It wasn't just tradition, it was control. A system built long ago to keep warriors loyal. She touched her necklace slowly, her sharp golden eyes softer now. A soft knock came at the chamber door. Valara didn't answer. But the door opened anyway. It was Captain Ray. He walked in quietly, dressed in dark royal clothes, now instead of arena gear. No armor, no weapon in his hand. Yet his calm steps filled the room like power entering. "Do you not believe in knocking?" Valara asked without turning. Ray stood behind her now, not too close, not too far. "It's my first day as a royal husband. I'm still learning the rules." Valara finally met his eyes through the mirror. "You do not look like a husband," she said simply. "You look like a soldier." Ray didn't smile. His voice stayed calm. "That's what I am." Silence fell between them. After a moment, Valara stood up. Her golden robe flowed behind her as she walked toward the window. Her planet's twin moons shone outside. "Why did you come here, Ray?" she asked. Her voice was quieter now, less like a queen, more like ... something else. Ray stepped closer. His answer was slow and honest. "I came because someone on your council hired assassins." Valara turned her head slightly. "You said that in the arena, but why do you care about my council?" "About my life?" Ray looked at her carefully now. No crowd, no arena. Just two rulers, one human, one alien facing each other. "My ship received a coded message 3 weeks ago," Ray explained. "A signal from inside your palace. It wasn't meant for the army. It was personal. Someone begged for help." Valara frowned. "From my palace, who?" Ray shook his head. "I don't know, but I followed the trail. It led here. And then ... the arena." Valara folded her arms, silent. Her mind spun like ice and fire mixing together. She had thought her palace was perfect, untouchable. And yet ... if I hadn't come, Ray said quietly, "you'd be dead right now." That truth hung heavy in the air. Even Valara couldn't deny it. For the first time in years, she felt something deep inside. Not anger, not pride. Fear. But she didn't show it. Instead, she stepped closer to Ray now, standing face to face. "My empire cannot look weak," she said slowly, "even if there are traitors. We must handle it quietly." Ray nodded. "Agreed. But you can't do it alone. Valara's lips curved into a half-smile. That's why I married a human? Ray looked into her golden eyes. His voice dropped lower. No, that's why you married me. Their eyes stayed locked for a long moment, but before anything more could be said, a sharp alarm sounded in the hallway. A royal security alert. Valara's face turned serious instantly. She pressed a hidden button on her wristband. One of her guards spoke through it. My queen, there's been a breach. Someone has entered the royal vault. Valara's heart froze. The royal vault wasn't just for treasure. It was where ancient codes, power weapons, and secret information were kept. Ray stepped back quickly. His voice sharp now. We move now. Without waiting, both of them exited the chamber. No more talk about marriage. No more quiet conversation. Now. It was war. As they rushed down the golden hallway together, side by side, Valara glanced at Ray again. For the first time, she wasn't just thinking of him as a stranger, or as a husband forced by law. She was thinking of him as a partner, a real one. And as alarms echoed through the palace, the reluctant queen whispered under her breath, perhaps this marriage is not my punishment after all. The palace hallways flashed red as alarms blared. Golden walls reflected the warning lights like pulsing blood. Soldiers ran everywhere, shouting in different alien languages, but in the middle of this chaos, two figures moved calmly, Queen Valara, and beside her, Captain Ray. Ray's boots hit the marble floor with steady steps. Valara walked next to him, her royal robe trailing behind like a shadow. The two of them reached the entrance to the royal vault. The giant steel doors were wide open. Smoke floated from a cracked security panel. Someone had hacked it. Two guards lay on the floor, unconscious but alive. Valara clenched her jaw. Her golden eyes flashed with quiet anger. Find who did this, she ordered. Ray didn't wait for soldiers. He stepped into the vault first. His eyes scanned everything. Inside, the vault wasn't filled with gold or treasure. It held something more dangerous. Ancient scrolls, royal codes, and one special item, a black crystal glowing faint blue. That crystal was now gone. Valara stepped beside him, face pale for the first time. The shadow crystal, it controls the city's defense grid. Ray's voice dropped low. Who knew its location? Valara's eyes narrowed. Only my counsel. Ray's hands curled into fists. Then we found your traitors. Before she could reply, Ray's wrist device beeped. A small hologram flashed. Coordinates. Moving fast. Someone leaving the palace. We have to move, Ray said sharply. Valara didn't hesitate. She turned toward her guards. Ready the sky skiffs. We are leaving now. Minutes later, under the cold Xylaris night sky, Ray and Valara stood on a royal sky skiff, an open flying craft shaped like a sharp blade. Wind rushed past them as they soared above the palace towers and glowing city below. Ray checked his tracker again. They're heading toward the lower districts, Valara frowned. That's where the outsiders live, smugglers, traitors. Perfect place to hide, Ray muttered. The queen glanced sideways at Ray. Her voice was quieter now. Why are you really helping me? Ray didn't answer right away. His eyes stayed on the tracker. Finally he said, because someone once helped me ... when I didn't deserve it. Valara didn't ask more, but a small part of her chest felt warmer hearing it. 10 minutes later, the skiff landed in a dark alley of the lower district. Neon lights flickered on metal walls. Steam hissed from pipes. The city smelled of oil, heat, and danger. Ray and Valara walked side by side through the shadows. No royal guards followed. Stay close, Ray warned. I'm not afraid, Valara said simply. Suddenly, a sharp sound. A blaster fired from the rooftop. Ray grabbed Valara's arm, pulling her behind cover as the energy shot exploded against a wall. Snipers! Ray hissed. Valara didn't panic. Instead, she pulled a hidden dagger from her robe, alien steel, sharp as lightning. Ray smiled slightly. Queen with a knife, that's new. Valara replied coldly. Queen with a husband, that's newer. There. Eyes met just for a second before both moved again. Ray rolled forward, aiming his pistol up. One shot. One sniper fell. Valara followed, eyes sharp, moving with quiet skill. Her royal training was not just for show. Together, they pushed deeper. Into the alley until they reached an old cargo warehouse. Ray kicked the door open. Inside, a group of shadowy figures. Council members. 6 of them, all holding weapons. The tallest one, a gray-skinned alien with long arms, stepped forward. His name was Counselor Brain, one of Valara's oldest advisors. Valara's voice cut through the silence. Brain, you? Brain smiled slowly. Forgive me, my queen. But the Empire needs new leadership. Yours is old and weak. Valara's hand gripped her dagger tighter. Her face showed no fear. You would destroy my city, just for power? Brain laughed once. It was never about you. It was about control. Ray raised his pistol slowly. Last warning, Brain smirked. Human, you really think marrying the queen makes you one of us? Ray's voice dropped colder than ice. No, but it makes me someone you don't want to fight. At that moment, gunfire. Ray and Valara dove in opposite directions as shots filled the warehouse. Blue and red lights flashed from weapons. Ray moved like a shadow, ducking behind crates, firing carefully. His aim was perfect. One traitor fell. Then another. Valara moved with silent grace, dagger flashing in the dark. One counselor tried to grab her. She cut him down with 2 fast strikes, within minutes. It was over. Smoke floated in the air. Only Brain remained, on his knees now, weapon lost. Valara stepped toward him slowly. Her voice was calm but full of power. You forgot one thing, she said coldly. Brain coughed. What? Valara's eyes flicked toward Ray. She spoke one final word. Humans. Brain's eyes widened in shock. Ray stepped forward, knocking him unconscious with one final punch. Later that night, back in the palace, Valara stood on her balcony. Below, the city glowed peaceful again. Ray stood beside her. It's done, he said simply. Valara nodded once. But her voice was quiet. Thank you. Ray didn't answer. He only looked at her, the queen who had once tried to humiliate him. Now standing beside him as an equal, Valara closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them slowly. Perhaps, she said softly, the Empire is ready for something new. Ray smiled slightly. Perhaps it is. The dawn broke over Zalaris, painting the sky in soft pink and orange. The city below was quiet now, but the palace was alive with new energy. Queen Valara and Captain Ray stood together on the highest balcony, watching the first light of a new day. The battle was over, but their journey had only just begun. Ray looked at Valara. The cold queen who had once ordered his humiliation was no longer the same woman. Her eyes held warmth, a new fire, a quiet strength born from trust and shared struggle. The palace guards stood alert, but the real enemy was defeated. The traitors in the council had been exposed and removed. Yet the peace they won was fragile. Valara turned to Ray, her voice soft but firm. We fought side by side. You saved my life and my kingdom. But this marriage, what does it mean for us now? Ray smiled gently. It means we have a choice. To rule together, to protect what matters. Not because of law, but because we want to. Valara took a slow breath. For the first time, she let herself hope. She remembered the moment in the arena, the fierce battle, the unexpected bond forming in the chaos. The laws that forced her to marry him felt less like chains and more like a bridge to something new. Suddenly, the royal horn sounded. The city's people gathered below, cheering for their queen, and the human who had changed everything, Valara, raised her hand in greeting. Her voice carried over the crowd, steady and clear. Today we begin a new chapter. Not just for me or for Ray, but for all of Xylaris. We stand united, alien and human as one. Ray stepped forward, taking her hand gently. The crowd erupted in cheers again. As the sun rose higher, casting long shadows across the palace, Valara felt the weight of her crown and the warmth of a hand holding hers. They were partners now, warriors and rulers. Bound by law, yes, but chosen by something stronger. Love. Later that day, in the quiet of the royal gardens, Valara and Ray sat beneath the glowing alien trees. The air was thick with sweet fragrance. For a moment, the world felt peaceful. Valara looked at Ray. You changed my empire. And my heart. Ray smiled softly. And you taught me what it means to belong. They sat together, watching the twin moons rise again, promising a future no one could have imagined, because sometimes the strongest battles lead to the most unexpected victories, and sometimes a queen's punishment becomes the universe's greatest gift.